Hi everyone, it's Maternal Mental Health Awareness Week this week, and I'm recording some videos with real mums talking about their real experiences of motherhood. And I was running this morning and I thought, well, it's not really fair for me to ask other mums about how they felt if I'm not prepared to ask myself the same questions and disclose my responses to you. Most of you know who I am, but those of you who don't, my name is Mandy Reese. I'm the founder of Blossom Yoga and Wellbeing. I'm a healer, I'm a coach, I'm a yoga teacher, I'm a baby massage teacher, and I'm really passionate about the well-being of mums and babies and encouraging mums to value themselves and see their true worth in this world. I genuinely believe that if we look after ourselves, then the looking after of our children and families will come to us as second nature. I don't think we're valued enough as mums, and I'm determined to change that, starting with myself as an example to my daughters and my family, and motivating and encouraging and inspiring all the wonderful mums out there to do the same thing. I am a mum of two. I have two beautiful daughters. Grace is 17 and Neve is 13. I know all the challenges of motherhood, from babies through to teenage years, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. So the first question I'm asking my mums is to talk about whether they prepared for motherhood when they were pregnant. Now, I didn't really. I was lucky enough to have an innate trust in my own body and her ability to give birth, and I didn't really doubt that I wouldn't be able to do it. The problem is I kind of forgot that birth ends and then motherhood starts, and that continues forever. Once you become a mum, you're a mother for life, and that with that comes the responsibilities, the scary bits, the good bits, and all the other bits. I was totally flummoxed by motherhood. The rug was pulled from under my feet. It wasn't anything like I expected. I had a daughter with really severe eczema, which broke my heart every time I had to undress her or bath her or change her, and it was so hard. Honestly, it was the hardest thing I'd ever done, and I felt like my heart was breaking a little bit more every day, because I had such huge expectations on what I was going to be as a mum and what being a mum should look like, and it didn't meet up to that at all. As a result, I shut myself away. I didn't make any new mum friends when I had Grace. I went back to work full time as a lawyer when she was 4 months old, and my world just tumbled, really. I then had Neve 4 years later because I needed that gap before I was emotionally ready to have another child. And then when Neve was about 4, I stopped being a lawyer. I reassessed things and I went to see a counsellor, not specifically for postnatal depression or anxiety, but obviously that was a huge part of it. And that was the beginning of me getting better, changing my lifestyle, and creating a whole new world that revolved around the well-being of mums. So in short answer, no, I didn't prepare for motherhood when I was pregnant, and I really wish I had. Next question is, do you feel valued or noticed? Did I feel valued or noticed when I became a mum? No, not really, because I just felt like I was invisible and I was lost. And when I did try and reach out for help, I felt that I wasn't heard, and I thought I was weird because I had this impression that every other mum was coping, mainly because I didn't spend time with other mums to find out their reality. And I just became very lonely and very sad. I had a baby with eczema that people just told me, either it's one of those things or she'll grow out of it. And no one understood that I did not want to be in this situation, and actually I couldn't continue in that situation. I don't think I would have made it if Grace's eczema hadn't been sorted and resolved. So I took it upon myself to become her saviour and to find out the cause of her eczema and the solution. I'm pleased to say that I did, or we did, and that went by the time she was 12 months old, and boy, that made such a difference. But I just felt that I was expected to just get on with it. I was expected to fit in job and the cleaning and the cooking and all the other responsibilities, And I felt genuinely that I was expected to do it myself, that being a mum meant that you did it all yourself and you sacrificed who you were for your baby, and that was normal, which it is not. If you're listening to this, it really isn't. Self-care should be on the list of your priorities and pretty high up there. It was way, way, way below mine, and it's only in the last probably 6 or 7 years that I've really valued my own time and my own headspace. My message to you would be, have a real think about when you are looking after yourself, and if it amounts to 0, don't feel bad about just starting with 5 minutes a day and building up from there. It's really, really important. I didn't do it and I suffered hugely, as did my family as a consequence. My next question I'm going to ask is, do you think we value mums enough? Well, clearly no, I don't think we do, and we need to change that, because until we're valued externally, I don't think we're going to be brave enough to value ourselves internally. Neither will we give ourselves permissions for those moments of self-care, the time away from babies, times with friends and family, or just leaving the house for a walk, or going to the shops, or doing the things that you used to do that made you feel better about yourself. Do believe we take responsibility for our own feelings and our own emotions, and when we're in a really dark place, we should be able to reach out and ask for help to get us through. I did. Took me a long, long time, but when I did it, it transformed me, and it made a huge difference. I honestly wouldn't be where I am now if I hadn't gone through counselling and been able to talk about how I felt and process stuff. So the next question is, what advice would I give to the pregnant me if I could go back and talk to her? My first piece of advice would be, lower those expectations, Mandy. In fact, have no expectations of what you should look like as a mum. I was told so many times, as I'm sure you were, having a baby transforms your life, it changes you. Get prepared for the change. Oh God, the sleepless nights. You're going to have no time to do anything. It's going to be really difficult to manage stuff. And I took it all on board and I listened, but I didn't understand. And I genuinely don't think you can know what it feels like until you've had a baby. I look back on the times when my friends had children before I had Grace, from the gifts I gave them, to the amount of time I spent with them, to the way I listened, all the questions I asked, and I just wasn't able to fully empathise because I hadn't been through it. So I would tell the pregnant me to lower my expectations or not have any, to be prepared for chaos, to go with the flow as much as possible, to not fight the anger and resentment around the sleepless nights, to not try to be too organised, to focus on the little bits that I could control and let the rest of it go. I would also tell her that one of the most important things she can do is to keep communicating with her partner, and also make friends with other mums. Honestly, I see it in my classes, and I know from my experience with Neve, which was very different, that having that circle around you actually transforms the motherhood experience. Having had one baby where I had no friends and another baby where I made sure that I had lots, it was so different. There was joy in my experience of motherhood with Neve, which I didn't have first time round. So that's, lower your expectations, keep communicating no matter how crap you feel. It's okay to feel rubbish. It's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to not tell people that you're not okay. Although people can guess, sometimes they need permission from you to be able to talk to you. I certainly know that Kerry felt very difficult around me because I was so defensive and I pretended so much that I was in control and everything was all right and I was going to go back to work and the full-time work was going to be fine. And I made some bonkers decisions with my career. I left the firm I was at to go to another firm, which was a disaster, and then I ended up going back to the first law firm, which, as you can imagine, when you've got a baby and all that stuff's going on, it makes the overwhelm even worse. So, go to people for help. They want to listen, but sometimes they just feel scared to ask you, because I was so fragile. I think Kerry genuinely thought, gosh, if I ask Mandy and push her on this, she's going to break. And he kind of waited for me to talk, and I didn't. So lower the expectations, keep up communication, and make sure you've got some fantastic mum friends to hold you safe. Now, you don't need loads 5 or 6, whether it's an NCT group or a group from classes, but get their phone numbers, get on the WhatsApp groups, people that you can ask all kinds of questions of, and people who understand what you're going through. They will get it. They will be there at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're up for your 4th feed of the night and you are just at your wit's end with exhaustion. They will change your life, other mums, and hopefully they become friends for life. Then the final question, which is quite similar, I guess, is what advice would I give to one of you if you're struggling now? Well, my first piece of advice would be to breathe slowly, to take really deep breaths, to stop judging yourself, to stop thinking that you're not a good mum or that you're failing or that there's something wrong with you, because none of those things apply. Breathe slowly and close your eyes and just pause. Don't think about anything, don't do anything. If you're able to stand outside or go for a walk on your own, do that to create separation from where you are now to be able to think about where you want to be. A little bit of headspace. Then when you've found that headspace, really think about how you're genuinely feeling. Not, you may have had a really bad day and it may be that, your baby's kept you awake all night, or you've got other children and they're demanding and it's just overwhelm, and that's more kind of a day-to-day management thing. But really think about how you feel deep inside. And if you are sad, if you do feel like you can't do this anymore, if your anxiety is becoming a bit too much and techniques you have aren't working, please don't be afraid to ask for help. This is such a common experience. Anxiety, depression, psychosis or prenatal depression as well. All these things are really, really common. I think the statistics are quite scary of how many of us experience this in one way or another, and you must never be frightened or embarrassed to ask for help. I was both of those things, and it made my journey, survival, my way out of this really difficult, but I did make it, and you will make it too. You've got plenty of people around you who love you and care for you. They probably have an inkling that something's not quite right, that you're not feeling yourself and that you need help, but they might not feel comfortable raising it with you. Write them a letter, write a note, whatever works for you in terms of communicating with people. Please don't stay in this place that you're in. Please know that you will be listened to and you will be heard, and that you are valued. You genuinely are valued. We mums hold society together from the very start of life right the way through. Without us, how would our babies be nurtured and loved and become toddlers and teenagers and adults in their own right? So you are taking on a huge responsibility, which feels scary, but it's also a massive gift, and it's a real privilege to be able to do this and to be able to influence the next generation and the world. I know that kind of feels scary, but just think of how amazing it can be if you're able to do that from a place of strength and where you feel yourself again. She's still in there, she's still fighting to get out, perhaps, fighting too hard, and you need to talk to somebody and be able to come up with a structure or a plan, or just the way that works for you. We're all very different. We all have different coping mechanisms and some things that will work, but you don't have to do it on your own. So the one thing I would say to you is, if you're struggling now, find the courage to talk to someone. It doesn't have to be a friend or a family member. It doesn't have to be anyone you know. You can contact lots of charities here in Birmingham where I live. There's a brilliant organisation called Acacia Family Support. They have just wonderful people who've all experienced anxiety or depression themselves, so they know where you're at. There's organisations such as Pandas, which is a national organisation which can help you. Just reach out. Know that there are circles of support and there are loving, kind arms who understand where you are and they want to help, because you are important. You make a difference. You matter. What you're doing is really tough and you're doing your best. And honestly, nobody can ask any more of you than that. I'm giving you permission to ask for help if you need it. Please, please, please Be brave. You will be okay. There is another side to this. I know I've been there, I came through it, and I have a wonderful life now, and I'm truly blessed with a brilliant family, a business that I adore, and I'm surrounded by amazing mums every single day. So this is your permission to ask for the help that you need.